Jet Setters, welcome to the sixth installment of From Local to Global with your host, Safira Sanders. I am your host, Safira. So today we are going to tap a little bit into my personal journey, how I first started out my manufacturing experience. I thought this was very important because right now, I am really gravitating more towards like my vision and I'm like really living that. And yeah, it's all cute now and like 3D rendering and like AI and all that cute stuff, but it wasn't always like that. So to me, this video is probably one of the most important ones that I've created thus far because I want you guys to see the journey and sort of understand the struggle a little bit too, because hopefully that will encourage you guys to like keep going no matter what, never stop. If you are having an issue, pivot, maneuver. I discuss this all the time, so I hope that this is able to help someone out there. So before we start on my journey, I am going to give a great big shout out and a thanks to my sponsors, one being the Port of Tacoma. Now, I'm sure you guys have watched previous videos where I hope you have. But it's your business, not mine. Anyway, Port of Tacoma, Traction Space in the William Factory Incubator. This particular episode, I can definitely say that Traction Space and William Factory Incubator, shout out to my mentor, Don, has definitely helped take me from where I'm about to show you guys. Like in a minute, I have a whole pile of stuff right here that I want to show you guys so you can understand the journey a little bit more and see how I was able to take the resources that I had, make product, create a business, take that money, invest it into EditCode. So now that I'm able to really chase the vision. Their information is going to be listed in the description box. With the new year coming up, I highly suggest that you guys touch base with Traction Space and try to set up a tour so you can view the full facilities, grab some coffee, meet the staff. They're super chill and super cute. And also just had that initial conversation about finding a mentor and finding some space and getting the tools that you need to accelerate your business. So this episode is sponsored by them. I couldn't be more happy. And again, just thanking them from the bottom of my heart. So you guys, my experiences as an entrepreneur, I think has been very similar to a lot of you guys out there, but I have had the great fortune to remain savvy and to always have a plan and to always have great mentors and then just a great like support system surrounding me, whether it is my parents or my family and friends. So it's definitely something that I cherish to this day, those relationships and people believing in me. So because of that, it hasn't always been, just bunches of bananas, all super cute. It has been a very like hard struggle at times in order for me to get to where I am today. So with that said, I want to start this episode by giving you guys a bad experience and giving you some insight on how I pivoted. So when I first started my international journey, I knew that I wanted to design clothes. I know I didn't really want to produce a full collection. I kind of just wanted to do mini drops, right? That was my first business model with another company that I had. I no longer had that company because I took all of that data and I sort of like transitioned it into EditCode, which is now following like that heavy tech, 3D modeling, all the AI machine learning integrations so that I'm able to produce the best product and also ensure that my customers have the best experiences, right? But before I got to EditCode, I had another brand. She was cute, but she wasn't that cute, right? I didn't have that experience. She was cute. We don't get to her. So long story short, I did what a lot of you guys did. I knew I had this design. I wasn't too efficient in CAD, but I had a little bit of knowledge and I had a friend that is very efficient in CAD. So he helped me out and I was able to get my designs out. Like you guys, I went on Google. I found Alibaba, which at the time was the only website I was aware of. I do have it when I get into the manufacturing aspect of this series. I'm going to give you guys two different options of how to get your clothes made overseas. Alibaba won't be a part of them because I'm about to give you guys an example why. No shade to them. I just didn't have the best experience. But it will be structured for you guys that are just starting out. So if you guys are interested in the more 3D type of design process, please feel free to touch base with me after this series. It is a little bit more expensive, and I did have to teach myself a lot more skill sets, but again, it was chasing the vision, so it's all good. This particular series is just going to be for those individuals that want to produce clothes in the traditional sense with like more traditional avenues, completely lost my thought, more traditional avenues, and that are just starting off, so they don't have the biggest budget. So with that said, kind of getting back to my story, had a really great idea. I was like, okay, I'm going to take it to market. I went to Alibaba and I found a manufacturer. I didn't know all the true in and outs. So a lot of you guys, I contacted several different manufacturers on Alibaba, and I found one that I thought was creditable. I was like, okay, they're a go. From the initial conversations, they seemed like it was going to be a great fit. But what I messed up on is I did not request a sample of just their product, of just the product that they produce, without sort of like my designs, if that makes any sense, which I should have done. And I'm going to outline that for you guys in a second, but I didn't do that. And yeah, so I'm communicating with the manufacturer. I didn't download WhatsApp. I'm doing everything via Alibaba, not Alibaba Express. Don't get confused with the two. I'm not a fan of Alibaba Express, and I've never used them for manufacturing. So I don't really have too much insight, but this was just regular Alibaba. So I contacted the manufacturer. I thought everything was great. Like I said, I did not order or request a sample beforehand. I just sort of like sent them my designs. I used a tech pack at that particular time, and they sent me my samples. I have so the thing is, like, the print and everything came out really, really nice, but it was just like the construction. It was like a horrible mess. I even had a manufacturer one time kind of like take my money. I did not know at the time that I was supposed to use sort of like their online platform, and even PayPal would have been a lot more, just a lot more safer. I didn't know I used Western Union. So let that be a red flag for you guys. If you have a manufacturer that wants you to use anything outside of the actual platform, then that's a red flag and do not use them. So wanting to give you guys an example of like some bad manufacturing is like this set that I created a while ago. So you guys how I know that I have like Don, and I show Don everything. So he liked the idea too. I'm not going to take, so here's the shirt. So I'm not going to take this shirt into production. Again, like I'm kind of over it, but as you can see, like it was just shoddy, like here, you can see. It was like shoddy work across the board. Like, baby, these buttons, honey, not requested. Let me see if I can show you guys, right? And I always pride myself, that wasn't a good shot, you guys. I always pride myself in being like super thorough. And I kid you not, they put wood buttons on this, right? And then it was just like a really, really like huge mess, right? So me being me, I tried to work around it, tried to kind of like resolve the issue, and it was just like a headache. So this is just like an example of like a sample gone wrong. I was like fortunate enough to like had already touched base with other manufacturers for the same design. So I didn't create a set somewhere similar like this, but this is just like the sample that you guys know. This is like not even the material that I requested. It was like just a bad experience all around. But when I did finally put a set like this similar into production, it ended up doing very well. But I was just really mad that I wasn't able to really get off like this print. Like I just thought it was so cute. So it comes with a shirt, and then it comes like with like little shorts too. And as you can see, right, like just the craftsmanship on this alone, like look at this. Look at that. And so this is really kind of like just deterred me all together. So I was fortunate enough because again, with that brand, it wasn't sort of like, it wasn't like super popular. Edit code isn't that popular either, but this one was like super low key. And a lot of it I kind of sold to like friends and family. So it wasn't like anything crazy, but that was just sort of like an example of what a bad sample could be and what a bad experience can be. So I did end up creating other designs with other manufacturers, and it was actually like a really smooth process. Of course, I did have like my bumps along the way with, again, not understanding the Chinese New Year, like I discussed with you guys in the previous episode, not really understanding like the cost of shipping, not understanding like proper inventory amounts and like how much to order. And this is another reason why I say, you guys, get your website and all that stuff kind of developed now, because you'll start to have some analytical data about at least what type of traction you're receiving on the site, right? So if you decide to do like a coming soon page and you're promoting it slowly through like your own social platforms, you'll be able to gauge exactly how much traction you're going in, how much traction your website is getting. And I always use that information to decide on how much inventory to produce. So that was my little bad story. I was able to find some good manufacturers. And again, I didn't quit. I just pivot and make sure that I was doing everything correctly, made sure that I had my business PayPal account already set up. So in terms of the payment situation that I did experience, like I said before, a lot of your manufacturers are not going to allow net 30 terms. So I did lose a significant amount of money right off the gate. So that's that. But what I do want to now discuss is like finding that new manufacturer, not necessarily the one for Edit Code, but for the other previous brand that I had. And that was an absolute great experience. What I did was create almost like a process. And I would say this is probably like the first like design and just manufacturing process that I produced. And I still use a bits and piece of it to this day. I just sort of like improved it, but absolutely positively making sure that I had all my ducks in a row before I touched base with manufacturers. And additionally, it allowed me to be more selective when I started to touch base with manufacturers. So we're going to get into that all in the upcoming episodes, but this is just my experience. Again, letting you guys know that I've like been there. In the set that I ended up producing, again, I didn't produce that exact one, but I ended up doing like a short and like top printed set. Came out really, really nice, right? But again, it was something that I had to navigate through. And I could have just said, you know what, this didn't work, let me quit. But no, I stuck with it. And because of that, I have Edit Code today. So what I now want to present to you guys are like some of the things outside of my designs that I currently get done in China. And these are just sort of like things that you can start to think about as you produce your items. You guys know the website, so you can see all of my Edit Code designs there. And it also gives you a little bit of background of how I manufacture and like what manufacturing standards are important to me. We're going to get into that in the next episode, but at least wanted you guys to see some of the other things that I get produced overseas. So one of that is being like my poly bags. They are made in China. I got them in several different sizes and they are biodegradable. And I like this because I just like everything to be on brand. So you guys know I am about to go through a rebranding, so I won't be using these particular bags anymore, but I will still be using the same manufacturer. And I found that manufacturer through madeinchina.com actually, and I'm going to share that website with you guys next, so you're able to find whatever you're looking for. I know that's, I also had other people that have used Etsy in order to find international manufacturers for things like this. So of course, check out madeinchina.com. We're going to discuss it in the next video, but also check out Etsy, check out other stores like that, because they can do like the exact same thing. And for the rebranding, I still like of course, I still wanted to be biodegradable. And this has more like a matte finish, but I'm thinking for the rebranding, I might do something a little bit more chic. Something that's like truly reusable for my consumers. So next I have my poly mailers. And this is the thing, I didn't get this made in China. This comes from Uline, but I just wanted you guys to see that I try to keep everything like on brand. These are also available on the Made in China website. But what I loved about like Uline is just that I think the packages come like the next day and they have the net 30 and net 60 terms. And I'm glad that I was able to use them, because now that I'm going through a rebranding, I'm almost out of these. And more than likely, I doubt if I go back to the bubble mailers just because they're not eco-friendly. So next, I also got overseas are my hanging tags. Very simple. I don't have a brick and mortar location, so I didn't go crazy with the proof of concept hanging tags. I'm already working on those for the rebranding, and I'm super excited about that. Of course, I have like the little situations that go with the tags. Nothing much. But again, this is just to represent that you guys can literally use one site to find all your different manufacturers to get all the products that you need. Lastly, I wanted to show you guys the cards that I got from moo.com. They're not made in China, but again, I might as well show you guys the complete packaging process. So when my customers order from me, they of course get an insert card. I personalize it. So when I first started, I did used to write handwritten notes to all my customers, and it was just a headache because I grew so fast. And then I was able to take, of course, that data and some of those customers and bring them over to Edit Code. And now I just don't have time. Nor do I want my staff taking time to like write notes, right? That doesn't make any sense. But I did find a way to personalize it, did put a cute little QR code on it. So I get a lot of traction from this card as well. If you guys are interested on how to enhance the consumer experience, maybe that's something I can make a video on. Again, moo.com. And last but not least, my business cards. I don't put these into the pack now, just 5 of everything. And then I also include stickers. I thought I had some stickers around here, but I guess not. It's been a very, very long day. I am so looking forward to the new year. Very hectic around here, very crazy, but I at least wanted to make sure that I popped in today and give you guys a little bit of my experience as an entrepreneur that manufactures goods overseas. Again, check out my website to really get like a full understanding of Edit Code and my aesthetic. My next collection, I really haven't fully started to design that yet, but I know that I'm super into like structures now. Like I'm typically like a loud print type of person. My style, I don't think I would ever call like, minimalist. I don't know. When I go out, I like to be seen, but I also got some good feedback that my consumers want to see more athleisure wear from Edit Code. So I'm definitely getting into the sweats and like the play suits and all that cool stuff like that. So we have a lot more to discuss in terms of this series. But to recap, make sure I showed you guys everything. Oh, you're perfect. So to recap, you're going to have bad experiences. I hope that you watch this video and rewatch this video and learn from my mistakes. I cannot stress again how important of having the basics are. If I would have like had me in my ear when I first started, I would have known that do not do any business that is not via PayPal. Do not use Western Union for anything. I cannot stress that enough. To me, when a manufacturer wants you to use Western Union, I think that's an automatic scam. I can't prove it, but it happened to me and I do not want it to happen to you. And lastly, use the next episode that I'm about to present to you guys as a way to find all your different products. So if you guys can see, at least when it comes to the consumer experience, it's a mix of a US-based company as well as the things that I found in China. So there's a lot of opportunity to really bring your vision to life and do it efficiently. In the next episode, that's when we're going to discuss madeinchina.com, because again, even though like right now I use a manufacturer that uses 3D modeling, because I was sort of like already in that ecosystem of talking to manufacturers on WhatsApp all the time, speaking with other US-based companies that are sort of like those liaisons between, and I'll put their website in the description too if you guys want to check it out. But being able to like connect with all of these different companies is what led me to finding the manufacturer that can actually produce clothes the way that I want to with Edit Code and expand on that. Because it wasn't like I just searched manufacturers that do 3D modeling. Like I literally had like 3 and 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 conversations with other people before I was able to find my manufacturer. And even then, when we first started, they really didn't have like a whole streamline process of producing clothes. Like we almost had to like work in tandem to make the products make sense, to make the process make sense, to make sure that there wasn't a lot of like back and forth, because that's one thing that I love about my current manufacturing process is that instead of receiving like this sample, the one that I went bad, or any samples at all, we do everything via 3D rendering, and then we're able to be as intricate and detailed as possible. Because I kid you guys not, with this last release, almost, I would say a very high percentage, almost like 99% of the things that I produce, when I would initially receive the sample, it was like, okay, go. You guys got it perfect, no edits. Let's go ahead and run this design. So we're going to discuss that in the next video. I do hope that this was able to help you guys. I know it was outside the normal format, but it was still some fun, and I hope that it helped. So with that said, thank you guys so much for tuning into this video. Thank you so much for my sponsors, and I look forward to seeing you guys at the next one. Thank you.